Greetings, dearest Miss Amanda. Before we can say anything further, our profound apologies for our inexcusably late response to your kind letters. We dare not ask for forgiveness. We but hope to offer reason for our atrocious neglect. Mea culpa. Mea maxima culpa. It's been a very, very bad year. Aside from our typical laziness, and our entering into the 6th year of drought, we have suffered yet another destruction of the garden. At the hands of the bastards that call themselves City Hall. The premise under of color of law and excuse of instrument, defective we might add. Bulldozed the ground. Destroyed the pond. Clear-cut fruit trees, food crops, and cultivar. Both medicinal and ornamental. Destroyed nests of protected songbird. Destroyed and scattered the cemetery. And destroyed several minor and a few major works of art. We were violently and forcibly removed from our premise, and was injured in the process. We remain all but crippled to this day. And still struggle to regain any sense of equilibrium. Part of it is our foolishness. We should have known that such niceties of law hold no weight nor consideration with the bastards. Nor will they go away. But please do not despair upon our account. We have resolved ourselves to retain an attorney somehow. And bloody their noses in a higher court of law. We do not offer this as excuse. But as explanation. We have also suffered the senseless murder and disappearance of comrades. Yeah. It is the destruction of the fish and the bird. Cat, the other attendant creatures. That's the rage. That's the indignity. And all at the hands of Cracker and House Nigger. Once again, we strengthen our resolve turning our back upon heaven, and God or no, if there is no hell, we shall make one and drag them there. We cannot bring ourselves to forgive. The best they may hope is we somehow forget. And our scars are a constant reminder. Come now, dear. Have you had your B12? You know how labile you get without it. You say the rooster booster is buried under the pile and you can't seem to burrow it? Yeah. Well, we'll stop by the feed store and get you a new box. It's probably out of date by now anyhow. So, that's the news from our miserable little front. And please, do not concern yourself. We should have known better when he signed on. Now then, we have reviewed, finally, both your video and your notes, your messages. YouTube keeps changing things, and it's hell on the blind. As far as the videos, we have retained a majority of that which the Californian wiped. Not all. We really weren't expecting it the first time around. And we do have them on disc in our archive. We will be happy to post you your own set of copies. All the little crap we managed to save. You are welcome to them. Please consider them your property. Please do with them as you will. What we have is yours. We never did expect to gain from the work. And we're thankful for that. It has spared us much agony. Please, they're yours. Copyright is no issue. Everything is common. In fact, anything might get into trouble for our stepping all over things. Again, there are many that do not appreciate the finer points of fair use. So they're yours. We can only caution that we caught shit for it. Just keep your eye open if you do use them. Never give those bastards an out. Never. You also, please, ma'am, freely use anything you can find on the internet. That's no issue either. It's all an ephemeral cloud, as it is. You'd think YouTube was designed by painters. All fluff and nonsense. Daubs and rags. Maybe not even that much. Now, about your video and your work. Oh, you are most precious. Has anybody told you you are priceless? We saw the work. We are overjoyed where our wizened black heart should be. Burst with a resounding joy. You have surpassed our generation. It is wonderful. Make no mistake about that. You surpass your masters. There is a progression, and it isn't backwards. Your consistency of both vision and material is phenomenal. You show a plastic mastery. All from the common substance. This form, this suggestion. The illusion is convincing. And more than any painter, it's tangible. But don't let the blind touch it. They just want a quick grope. They like to play stink finger. Or if they must, then put a glove on them first. You capture and lo, though I am to say such a thing, such a term, we often mock it. You capture the essence. You make it concrete. And with a seeming ease of facility, I know it's not, but you make it seem an easy facility. A seeming simplicity. Oh, that's the greatest illusion of all. We would stare and struggle in amazement at the master and how fluid he could work and speak and entertain all at once. And as a student, it made us most jealous, most desirous. Until we also eventually learned he was as shattered and as halting, but he made it look easy. You do that. Amazing. We also marvel at your I would dare say, frightful, terrifying, insightful, perceptive powers and deduction. We gave you but pitiful, blurry, shattered images and scraps of this reality. And yet you were able to pull out, to extract Van Gogh said, ignore the obvious and exaggerate the essential. That's what you have done. You have, with keenness that would surprise a cat, decided what was necessary and made the most of it. Yes, that was a whiskey bottle. Yes, those are pop bottles. Oh, by the way, we finally found a use for them. Crippled this winter, we could not even rise to go out to pee. We took to bottling it instead. We have some 200 liters now held in abeyance for remediating the destroyed garden and drought, and also possibly for retaliation against City Hall. They had shown up in biohazmat gear. They are deathly afraid of us, and they fear contagion. Fools that they are. But you, ma'am, yes, they are pop bottles. They are whiskey bottles. And yes, it was a can. This is amazing. This amazed us. We had to pick our jaw off the floor. It is a can of condensed milk. That's the breakfast ration for the feral cats we serve. Oh. Such a treasured, precious brilliance you are. There is not praise nor adulation enough. We know how you suffer depression. We know its attendant miseries. We have nothing but the coldest of comforts to offer. The great Zen master Roshi plumbed the depths. It is atmospheric depression. It becomes the very thing you breathe in, out. One swims in it. The great master Watts had bouts. Lincoln had bouts. The best we can offer is one can swim in it. There is no bottom. We likewise have plumb. There is no bottom. Only the motivational fools will tell you you have to hit rock bottom in order for things to get better. That's a lie. There is no bottom. You can swim in it, like the whale. Sing in it. Oh. And the songs sung there make the angelic choirs green and jealous. It is something they will never know. Most fools will never know. It crushes them. It has not crushed you. Of course, we're not worried either. Shit still floats. Do be careful with decompression. Do be careful with the manic episodes. They are, especially when young, the other side of the coin. That is where people get killed. That's where people get injured. We trust. You always did seem to have your eyes open. You're nobody's fool. You can only be faulted for still having a heart. And as you're no bureaucrat, that doesn't count, isn't there? Some further hints, and these, mind you, ma'am, do not take our critique to heart. We have grown old and chattering. But please, ma'am, do not work so hard towards the perfection you speak about. If there is anything about it, it is that state of imperfection. The best we can hope for is that we somehow become perfectly imperfect. We don't have a statue to our name that isn't somehow marred or savage. Italy, land of broken statues. Hell, they're still breaking Ming vases these days. Lost another one about 10 years back. The fool fell down the stairs and bumped into. Let there be chips, let there be dips, let there be painters' holidays. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. If anything, it speaks even louder towards where and what we are. We agree. We understand your dissatisfaction with the wedding. Now, we understand your desire for the one material, and you have shown great mastery and cleverness. But if you might consider the spun polyesters that are sold as webs during Halloween, the form is already there. A simple spray painting with aerosol. You could freely drape attack, it might be something to consider. There are some things you just simply cannot do with one particular medium, whereas it is easily achieved with another. The extensions we sought with our ceramic figurines were quite impossible. They would snap under the least tension. They would often collapse under their own weight. But with bronze, the issue is non-existent. The vegetation issue. We have had a similar difficulty problem to solve. We were making glorified papier-mâché fast food items using cloth, sponge, paper, bark, and acrylic medium. Lettuce was a challenge. We would simply lay out a sheet of the medium, give it an appropriate coloration and vegetative striation, something that would suggest lettuce in this case, and then cut the larger sheet to shape. That would spare you the extra step of shape, attach, paint. And you know how difficult sculpture is. There's no need to add to that. If you can, it isn't cheating, it isn't fraud. If you can find some simpler, easier way to approach it. That is our one failure with DRC. He has a very elaborate, painstaking, laborious ritual for video. It must be done in one shot, and it must be perfect, or he will start over again. And Lord knows, for a very small piece, he'll end up spending the entire day like a broken record. Oh, he's a wanted bastard. He's fled yet again. Again, please do not concern yourself with the brokenness. That is the Four Noble Truths. Temple Garden is in broken place. Oh, yes. Now, forgive us, but we can't help but smile and empathetic understanding of your difficulty in recreating the works of others. It's very valid, it's very honest, it's very real, and we shan't quibble nor question it. But we do offer this possible solution. As you cannot comfortably bring yourself to reproduce the limestone earth mother that goes on the pedestal. Please pardon the technical difficulties. Something inexplicably ran wrong with the poor little camera. We were suggesting that as you are having difficulty replicating the limestone earth mother, that we go ahead and fashion one for you. We get a good sense of scale from the video. We can extort some Sculpey from a local student who has more than he can use, and it would be easily shipped. I dare say that Amendum would likewise be more than agreeable to painting you a miniature so you could return the easel to your diorama of him. It would add a very interesting twist for the work to contain an actual element fashioned by those whom the work references, and there would be an interesting play and exchange. Well, that was the gist of what was lost, I suppose. Although, please do not hold us to it. The camera had a far better memory than we do. It seems to be an unfortunate side effect of the B12 psychosis. We often find ourselves making a grocery list so as not to forget. But upon arriving at the grocer, discovered we have indeed forgotten the list. C'est la vie. So, keep up the very good work. Be good to yourself. No one else will bother. You're already strong. And don't give the bastards an inch. And do forgive us. Our blind, labile, B12 deficient, Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. It really does take a sense of humor. I'll Naruto.